Yo, yo, what up? It's your girl Joy, the Hip Hop Power Font, and welcome to the rap session. Okay, so I'm doing this under the guise of the full moon in Capricorn. So hopefully the coin is going to come through. Okay, because you know your girl need it. Okay, hope it comes through for you too. So for this breakdown, I want to just focus on one particular placement, and I want to kind of show you, I don't want to say how astrology works, but how to get the most out of like the understanding of a transit. Okay, we're going to focus on Jupiter in Leo, which will happen on Tuesday, tomorrow. Okay, whenever you're watching this, maybe it's Monday. Tuesday, June 30th at 1:52 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, so we are less than 12 hours away from this ingress. Okay, and so as always, we will be using the Astro Soul Oracle deck. Okay. So yes, Jupiter will be in Leo. And so when you have one transit, you have to also look at the other pieces of the archetype. So with Jupiter in Leo, we are going to be looking at Sagittarius in the 9th house, as well as the sun in the 5th house. Okay, because all of that archetype is associated with Leo. But I'm going to do the breakdown so you can understand what I'm trying to say. If you don't already, I'm going to make it easy. Y'all know how I do. Okay. Got my notes here. I'm here. You're here. Frankie's here. Thundercats ho. So before we get into it, I just kind of want you all to look at this zodiac wheel. Okay. So we are going to be talking about Jupiter in the sign of Leo. And so with that means we have to look at Sagittarius and the 9th house, because Jupiter being in Leo is going to essentially give some of that Leonian energy to anything that is in Sagittarius, other planets, or any other placements that are in the 9th house, which is ruled by Jupiter. And the same goes for the sun. Okay, with the Jupiter contact, that means the sun, your sun sign, okay, and the 5th house are going to be given a little Jupiterian encouragement, okay? And so that is how that works. And so first we're going to talk about Jupiter, 9th house and Sagittarius, and then we are going to put that together with Leo after we cover Leo. Okay, so here, boom. Okay, here you go. Here you go. All right, all right. So let's talk about it. Jupiter. So I'm just going to give a little reference, okay, here and there, here and there. So Jupiter is all about we think. Okay. No, Sagittarius is not an air sign, but that doesn't mean that there is no thought happening. Okay. The needs of Sagittarius are hope, faith, trust. Now, this is including but not limited to. Okay. I'm just giving you the basics here. So Sagittarius is hope, faith, and trust. Meaning, significance, expansion, travel, morals, ethics, virtue, purpose, truth, and wisdom, as well as justice and right, like what is right, okay, with the world. And so when you go to Jupiter, Jupiter as a verb, if you look at it that way, okay, Jupiter as a verb means to believe, okay, to exaggerate, to advertise, to sell, to counsel, to advise, to overestimate, overdo, speculate, judge, predict, and prophesy. Yes. That's why Jupiter is associated with religion, whereas Pisces is associated with spirituality. Okay, so this archetype, because that's what it is when you group the planet sign, and house. If you want to get a little deep, you can go for the aspect too, but we ain't gonna go there. We ain't gonna go there, okay? But the Jupiter Sag archetype believes that events conceal meaning, okay? Things happen for a reason, okay? Everything has a purpose. And so this archetype is also associated with the right side of your brain that involves images, holes, pattern recognition. And that's why this archetype is associated with meaning and purpose, because the pattern recognition, okay, is there. And so when you are in this archetype, this is in the developmental age method, is around the age of 45 to 56. That is essentially like the Sagittarius stage of life. Okay, there are age ranges for each of the 12 zodiac. Aries is infant to 8 months, and Pisces is from, I think, is 60s until you die. Okay, so yes. And so let's dig a little deeper into the ninth house. Okay, so the ninth house, philosophy, religion, higher education. Like, how important are those things to you? Do they mean anything to you? Okay, this is where you develop your basic beliefs about life. I'm trying to, this daggone microphone string is getting on my nerves. Hold on. Okay, string. I know y'all. I'm gonna get the wireless, just not right now. Okay. Beliefs about life. Okay. This involves our efforts to understand what is right and what is wrong. Now, that doesn't mean that you are 45 when you start realizing this stuff. That's not what it means. Okay. But morals and ethics, that is what regulates your behavior. What's right and what's wrong. Okay. Like, we know the law, we know the rules that govern the land, right? And so that's what is essentially guiding our behavior. Like, I don't want to go to jail, so I'm not going to do this. That is not right. Okay, some people, that doesn't mean that stops you cold turkey, because clearly people commit crimes every day. Okay, but this is your approach to these things, your approach to ethics, your approach to what's right, your approach to religion, philosophy, higher education. Like I said, are those things important? How important are those things to you as far as being able to get your needs met? And we reviewed the needs, right? The needs are hope, faith, trust, meaning, significance, virtue, all of those things. This is your ideology, your perception of God, your religious preference. Okay, this is where all of that, because what's right and what's wrong for a lot of people is governed by your religion. Okay, you can't do this, or this is what's going to happen, or you're sinning, or you won't go to heaven, or you'll be in hell if you do, X, Y, Z. But this archetype is also associated with the dissemination of knowledge. How do you get the knowledge? How do you get these beliefs? Like, what has informed you to believe these things? Okay, that means teaching, publishing, promoting, advertising, and preaching. Okay, that is usually how knowledge is disseminated, through teaching, publishing, okay, or putting it out there, promoting, okay, advertising, and preaching. Okay, these are things that broaden your intellect and increase. Got a stupid spam call, but these are things that broaden your intellect and increase your understanding just about life in general. Okay, and so now we're going to switch into the Leo archetype. Okay, and then we're going to bring it all together. Okay, Leo is associated with adolescence. Okay, you're coming of age, 12 to 18 years old. Teenagers are crazy. Okay, been there, done that. I wouldn't mind to go back if I knew what I knew now. I mean, hindsight is always 2020. Okay, so Leo sun archetype is where your inner child lives, okay? This is where you strive to be someone special, okay? Leo wants you to feel like you are important. You was kind, you was important, okay? So Leo, okay, what is it? Let me see. Verbs for Leo. Okay. Is it verbs? No, these are the needs of Leo. Yes, needs of Leo. Leo needs to be approved, validation, looking for attention, admiration. Leo is about self-esteem, your positive self-image, play, creativity, enjoyment, self-expression, recreation, anything you do for leisure. Okay, kick back, relax. Okay, and so the needs of the sun are to, well, not the needs, but the verbs of the sun are to create, to express, to romance or impress, to entertain or perform, to choose, okay, your will, okay, and to rationalize. I know it might sound crazy, but that's the sun for you, okay? Fifth house is your personal playground. This is the theater of creative self-expression, okay? This is all about your attitudes towards just having fun in general, going to parties, games, hobbies. When I was in this age range, I was a party girl, okay? I'm a Pisces, yes, but baby, I'm going to all the parties. We out here, we having fun, we enjoying the vibes, okay? Hobbies as well, just like, I'm here doing astrology. Games, that's why sporting events are also associated with this archetype. But fifth house is also home to your ego identity, who you are as a person. So I'll say it like this. When you are a teenager, adolescent, 12 to 18, you don't know who you are yet. And so what a lot of teenagers do is, and this is all from a psychological perspective, okay? Don't forget, I got the background in mental health, okay? So what tends to happen in adolescence years, teenagers are trying to find out who they are, what personality fits them best, who they are, that can allow them to have their needs met. Like, do I want to be a nerd and be associated with these people? Do I want to associate with these people and be popular? Do I want to be associated with these people and play sports? Or do I just want to keep my head down, be quiet, do my anime, and mind my business? Okay. Teenagers try on different identities to see which one they can live with in order to have a majority of their needs met, because a lot of these needs not going to get met. You're not going to always have a positive self-image. You a teenager. Your friends not going to always give you that approval or validation for doing something positive. Like, you might get approval and validation because you're hitting the blunt or something like that. Play, like, are you doing sports? Are you doing some type of creative arts? Like, are you being a creative person, getting you the social cachet that it is that you desire? And it doesn't mean that you're trying to be popular, but each one of those categories has a friend group. Just because you're a nerd don't mean that you won't have other friends. You all are just going to be together. Y'all are just going to be a clique. Okay. Also, how you enjoy yourself and others. Like, not necessarily do you like yourself or do you like being by yourself, but do you like this person that you are becoming? And do you like who your friends are becoming? Okay. Fifth house is also about winning and losing. That's why sports and gambling is also associated with the fifth house. Okay. Children. The ultimate source of human creativity at its basic form is creating another human being. Okay? People like to chalk up children to Taurus, because that's the motherly, homely sign. But that ain't it. That's not it. Okay. Like I said, parties, peers, your best friends, romance, dating, courtship. Okay. Who are you surrounding yourself with? What type of person are you becoming? Okay. Places associated with this archetype are obviously theater, playground, a sporting arena, maybe even a university. Oh, that's for Jupiter. Oh, now I see what I did. Okay. Sorry, I'm misreading my notes, but we'll bring that back. We'll bring that back. So let's do this. Do. Jupiter in Leo. Bow. Just that simple, right? So, Jupiter is associated with university. Oh, well, pause. Places that are associated with the Jupiter Sagittarius ninth house archetype are a university or a college, a church, a courthouse. What do you mean courthouse? I thought that was Libra. Libra is just about equality. Jupiter is about what? Law, ethics, morality, what is right and what is wrong. So therefore, courthouse falls under Jupiter. Okay. Also, airport. Are you traveling? Are you at the international terminal? Okay. For Leo, places that are associated with the Sun Leo fifth house archetype are theater, playground, and a sporting arena. We already talked about why. Okay, adolescence. And no, teenagers aren't necessarily on the playground. I mean, depends. Okay, it depends on the city. Okay. People, types of people that are associated with the Leo Sun fifth house archetype. The hero. Okay, because they are looking for that admiration. Oh my gosh, you saved me. I love you so much. Okay. Father, men, star. That must be an abbreviation that I do not know what it means. Okay. Friends. And an audience. Leo loves an audience because that is what people giving them attention. That's why performing and being on a stage is also Leonian, because you have an audience, you have supporters, you have fans. Okay. People that are associated with the Jupiter Sagittarius ninth house archetype are a teacher, obviously, a prophet, an optimist, a promoter, any type of guru, and a traveler. Okay. So when we put these two together, don't forget. Let me see. I can't even see because I got my phone. I don't have my tablet. Well, my iPad. Jupiter. So Jupiter being in Leo is going to give that energy to any planets that are in the sign of Sagittarius or in the sign or in the ninth house. And I can't really pinpoint the houses because I don't know where you are, because I could have drawn up a chart to say, you know, like these are the planets that are going to also be affected by this particular transit. But that wouldn't make sense for everybody if you're watching like in another part of the world or even another country or state. Okay. Well, state is what I meant. So when we put these things together, the outcome could be that of, are you going to, okay, let's say dating. Dating is the easiest one. People always want to do love. We're going to do love and then we're going to do money. Okay. Because Jupiter is all about good fortune, luck, and all that stuff. So love. Let's talk about relationships. Is the person that you're dating, okay, that you are being romantic with, okay, that you are trying to impress, that you are trying to create a life with, do they share the same religion? Do they share the same level of education or not even share the same level of education, but is education important to them? Okay. Do you all share the same ideologies? Do you share the same philosophies as far as raising children, how to manage your money, how to grow your family, types of food that you should eat? Like, are they vegan and you a meat eater? Like, that's not really like, things have to align. Those ideologies, okay, those perceptions of God, those religious preferences, level of intellect, like how smart are you? Okay, that's important. If you consider yourself an intellectual, you don't want to be with no dummy. Okay. And sometimes, and people that don't consider themselves an intellectual, I know I'm smart, but I mean, intellectual, I don't know. That's a little too arrogant for me. But, I don't want to be with no dummy either. And the dummy might not want to be with me because I might be talking over their head and make them feel insignificant. That might make them feel dumb, like they don't know anything, and nobody wants to be around that. So you have to make sure that those things are aligned properly. Do you all like to go out and have fun? Or do you want somebody that's a homebody? Okay? Do you get along with their friends? Are you getting along with their family? You don't want someone that is hanging with a bunch of cheaters and people that's doing things they ain't supposed to be, a little nefarious. You want rational people, okay? But you also want someone that you can express your self to. Somebody you can have fun with recreationally. Somebody you want to travel with, regardless of where you're going. I don't care if you're doing a staycation. Is that something that they deem important? I remember I did a staycation. The person I was dating, they thought it was a waste of money. It was my money. And guess what? Don't even talk to them no more. Okay? But at the same time, you don't know, those type of experiences can what? Broaden your intellect and increase your understanding. Okay? That's why it's always good to kind of just see, where you and another person intersect. You might not agree on one thing, but you might agree on something else. But the important things, they have to be aligned, okay? Because when you develop your basic beliefs about life, okay, you don't want to leave any room for speculation. You could be judging that person, okay? Yes, you will be, okay? So let's flip it. Let's talk about the money. Let's talk about the money, okay? Do you want somebody that overestimates their financial status? Do you want somebody that overspends their money on things that they could probably save on, like traveling? Okay. Do they know how to budget their money for these leisurely activities? Are they doing all this stuff barely broke? Like, can they make it out the group chat because they can't afford it? Or is it just a schedule thing? Okay. I'd rather have the schedule thing. Okay. Are they giving all their money to their father for whatever reason? Okay, you see what I'm saying? Like, is their father funding their entire life? Like, is dad paying all the bills? Okay, are they really dating their dad? Okay, is she dating her dad? Is he dating his mama? I'm gonna get off that. Do they even feel like you are worth the risk, worth the gamble in order to feel special? Like, do they feel like you are an investment, this relationship or this connection? Okay. Is money the only thing allowing them to maintain a positive self-image? Is money their identity? Okay. Is that all they care about? Is that all they care about? Are they showing you the bands trying to impress you? And it's really their paycheck and they don't really got it like that? Like what's going on? Are they just, all right, I'm getting off a tangent. I'm supposed to be focusing on money. I was about to go left. But are they playing games with the money? Are they playing games with the money? Is the money funny? Is the money funny? Are they always giving their friends money? Like, are they spending a lot of, do they have a lot of student loans? Okay. Student loans? Can you, okay. Okay. Can you all afford to pay that back? Is the plan to even attempt to pay back the student loans? Or are you just going to spend it all on NBA game tickets, going to NFL games because you're just such an optimist that you are not practical? Is the optimism getting in the way? Okay. Do they always need somebody to come in and be the hero and rescue them out of these risky situations that they put themselves in because they can't stand losing? Are they a sore loser? What does that even look like? What does that look like? When things are down, when the chips are down, how are they going to, I don't want to say react, but how are they going to get through that? Okay. What else? I'm trying to see. Are they able to just like enjoy themselves? I dated somebody, he was okay, but he just, everything was just like, do you even have fun? Do you even know what fun is? Like, not necessarily a wet blanket, but just like negative Nancy, pessimist. Like, especially for someone like me, I am a complete optimist, but I'm also practical. Okay, but when I'm coming up with something positive, oh, let's do this. Oh, man, I heard this and blah, 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 blah. Don't go there. Like, look, you can get left. Okay, real quick. Okay. Some of y'all might be dating a promoter, an actual promoter. Are they home a lot or are they always traveling so they can do their promotion and going to the clubs and the parties and networking and meeting all these people? And like, does that align, okay, with your morals and values? Okay. Even if they're doing these things, are they still doing what's right? Okay. Let me see how much time. I think we're good. I think this is good. It's just one little transit, but I am very excited about this transit. I will say so myself. Okay. So yes. So this is, let's get this in for the situation. Okay. So because these two are in contact, that means these others will also be activated. Because Jupiter is in Leo, that means the sun in the 5th house will get the Jupiterian energy, the luck, okay, the broadened expansion and understanding of right and wrong, traveling and learning through those experiences. Maybe you might learn something if you go to a sporting event, learn something about that sport. Okay. And also because of this contact, Sagittarius in the 9th house will also get a Leonian quality. Okay. Are you going to find education exciting? We don't really know. Okay. Is the 9th house going to be where you are able to create these positive experiences? Okay. Are you going to, I can't say you can't create a religion, but are you going to create some type of publication? Maybe you're going to write a book. Okay, you never know. Maybe you're gonna go travel somewhere, enjoy yourself, have fun. Okay? So I hope this was good, and I will see y'all again soon. Peace.